Hello and welcome to this next presentation here at ABG Investor Days. My name is Simon Granat and I work as an equity analyst at ABG covering IT and tech stocks. And with us today we have the pleasure of welcoming Magnus René, who is the CEO of Ovzon, and also its CFO Johan Brandt, who will together present the company. They will present the company for about 20 minutes, then we will follow up with a smaller Q&A session for about 5 minutes. And with that said, Magnus and Johan, please go ahead and present the company.
Thank you, Simon, and welcome everyone. So we're going to present this Ovzon, the Swedish-based satellite communications provider, with our exciting what we are doing exciting for the future. Bear with us that we are actually in two different places. I'm in Boston, Johan is in Stockholm, so we hope we can make this presentation live and nice anyway. So let's switch to the next picture immediately and to Johan.
Okay, thanks Magnus. As you probably know, Ovzon is a Swedish company offering a unique broadband solution focusing on performance, which is more or less bandwidth, and mobility, which is offering the smallest terminals. The company was founded back in 2006 by Per Wahlberg and Kenneth Leinell, both with a background from a Swedish company named Swedish, focusing on production and development of small satcom terminals. And the plan when they started Ovzon was to maximize the performance and the mobility by combining the product development of small terminals and also the design of our own satellites. The first terminal was produced and launched back in 2013, and our business model and our service, which was a regional service by then, has been validated since 2014. And today we have 31 employees around the world, a very experienced team. We had total sales of $19 million for 2020. And if you look at our total addressable market, that market amounts to roughly $6.7 billion, and that includes the MSS services and part of the FSS services, which we will get back to. So next slide, please.
So if we look at what we are doing and what we have done the last, say, 1, 2, 3 years, we build the company strong. We build a foundation to handle our first own satellite and to prepare the company for that. And we do that in many different ways. On the commercial side, we add a number of new partners. We've added Airbus, GoMedia, Network Innovations, and so forth, partners in both Europe and in South America. We have added agreements with Intelsat where we have built a network based on the satellites available that are most like Ovzon 3 in order to start selling and showcase the Ovzon 3 case already now. We have got new orders from US DoD, or renewed orders, I should say. That is continues to be our biggest customer. We have launched our new terminal Ovzon T6, which is a lighter and more easy-to-use version of the T5. We have demonstrated SATCOM on helicopters, which is something that everyone in this business finds extremely exciting because it's a very hard business technical case, and it's a very compelling business case because helicopters are often used for surveillance and the ability to stream video, for example, for a helicopter is interesting, not only from defense point of view, but also for coast guards and rescue services and so on. And We have demonstrated that. We're working, for example, with our large Italian customer. And just to give you a flavor of this, the Italians, they have, say, at least 30, 40, 50 helicopters that could and should in the future be equipped with satellite communication, which means that there are thousands of helicopters worldwide that should have this. So it's potentially a very big market where we have a unique solution. We have invested in the organization. We have several new top recruitments to the management team, and we have on the downside experience, of course, some disturbances from COVID-19. And moving on, we have today a backlog of roughly 70 million US, which is a pre-capacity contract on Ovzon 3, but also commercial orders from different customers. We are launching our first satellite, Ovzon 3, which will bring us capacity, but also a differentiated offering moving forward. So altogether, we are entering into a new area, and we are well equipped for that area. So next picture, please. A very quick technical crash course in satellite communications or in communications. So why we have satellite communications? Because there is fixed, there is mobile. The short answer to that is that fixed and mobile are both require comprehensive and a lot of infrastructure that is ground-based and that is not movable, whereas satellite has all the infrastructure in space and can move it to wherever it's needed. So with satellite communications, we can always move the infrastructure and our capability to wherever it's needed on the globe in more or less an instant. Next picture, please. And with the foundation we have built, we are, as I said, taking a big step, launching our first own satellite in the end of this year. It will go live mid-2022. And this is, of course, something that will help us expand our business by a lot moving forward. And now we're going to show you how we are doing that. Next picture, please. So we will, to take care of this vision and execute on it, we will use our technical solutions, our expertise, our position there. We'll use our proven position with the large customers, with specifically defense customers. And we will continue to develop the organization. We'll use the organization that we have built during the last couple of years, and we'll continue to defend our position as an innovation leader on the market and also to expand that position. Next picture, please.
So if you look at our offering, the Ovzon services is sold as a complete SATCOM solution. And when you look at our solution, it's more or less a one-stop shop, which means that you get a user-friendly terminal, which is bullet number 1 here. You also get satellite capacity. You get gateway connectivity, and you get the network management system. And of course, you also get 24/7 service and support to be able to run this service in a professional way. So next picture, please. As you know, we are offering a revolutionary mobile broadband service, and our service has transfer speeds that are significantly higher than competing services. And in this chart, we try to position ourselves versus competing services. And if you look on the x-axis, we define the mobility, which is more or less the size of the terminal. So to the right, you have really small terminals, and to the left, you have more or less fixed solutions with large parabolic antennas. On the y-axis, you have the bandwidth. You start around 0. And as you can see, with our leased capacity, we are running a service around 20 megabits per second. And you find the Ovzon service in the upper right corner, which is this combination of high bandwidth, great performance, and small terminals. You can also see that we have this indication saying Ovzon 3, and that means that our current position is our current solution when we run this service supported by leased capacity. But when we launch our own satellite, and in the future a number of satellites, we will be able to improve our service even more, either or in a combination with smaller terminals and even more bandwidth. So you will see Ovzon be moving in the upper right direction. And you can also see other competing alternatives. Along the x-axis, you see MSS services, and to the left, you see a number of FSS services. And in the middle, you also can identify some LEO initiatives, for example, Starlink. The next picture, please. Our goal has always been to launch our own satellites in order to fully leverage on our unique technology. And as Magnus said, our first satellite will be launched by the end of this year. And Ovzon 3, which is the name of the satellite, is equipped with an onboard processor. It's also equipped with 5 steerable beams. And this makes it possible to deliver even better performance, smaller terminals, and new services that we haven't been able to deliver today. So next picture, please.
Yeah, so talking about different satellite services, I'm sure that some of you or all of you have heard about LEO satellite constellations. So this is a way to explain different structure of different networks and different satellites. So to the left, you have what we call regional satellites. They cover a fairly large fixed areas. Typically, these are designed for TV broadcasting, so they cover a region or a country, and we use them for part of our satellite service. In the middle picture, and typically the regional beams, they can be moved around, but they are not moved around all the time. In the middle picture, you see a representation of spot beams, which is what we have on Ovzon 3 and what we lease today from Intelsat on IS-39 and IS-37. These are beams that are agile, that are much higher energy than the spot beams, so they give higher bandwidth for the user, higher communication speeds, and they can also be moved much quicker. They can, for example, follow a ship or a boat when the ship or boat is moving. So they are truly movable infrastructure. We can put all the energy of the beams to exactly where we want to have it. And then on the third picture, you see what a LEO low orbit constellation looks like. That's quite the opposite of steerable beams, where you have a certain infrastructure, but that infrastructure is smeared out over the entire globe, and you cannot, for example, put more energy or more power into a certain area, but it is what it is. And in some areas, you'll have capacity that you don't need, and in some areas, you'll have capacity that is not enough. And next picture, please. And the way we see our advantage, GEO is us, geostationary orbit, and LEO is low Earth orbit. And there are a number of things that are important differentiators here. What are the most important ones, we believe, is regulatory, where since LEO is moving all the time and is actually covering everywhere all the time, it has much more challenges when it comes to regulatory and spectrum sharing than GEO. The satellites themselves have a limited lifetime, 5 to 10 years, whereas GEO is typically more than 15 years. Our satellite is designed for 16 years plus. The network architecture is simple for GEO for the reason that it's the satellites are fixed on the horizon, whereas for LEO it's complex since the satellites are moving and you have a lot of handover issues and stuff like that. The same effect or the same fact gives the issues with the free sight of a satellite, where LEO is a challenge, whereas GEO is simple. And as a summary, you can say that LEO is more of a mass market standard internet service, whereas GEO is mass market and niche markets, with our ability to point and focus energy and beams to exactly the areas where we want to have them, or rather where our customers want to have them. Next picture, please. So this picture shows our network as it is today, where we combine steerable beams with regional beams and give our customers the ability and opportunity to use our terminals in a broad range of geographies, and at the same time give them the opportunity to have a super high spot beam, super high service in areas where they choose. Next, please.
If you look at our customers and applications, we focus on customers having a need for significant high bandwidth and high mobility communication solutions. And our service has been delivered to customers since 2014. During the foundation, we delivered our service to US DoD, and they have been a customer to us since then. If you look at recent expansions, we have also been delivering services to the media sector and to NGOs. And in the future, we might also address industries like aviation, the yachting industry, or the telemedicine industry. So next picture, please. So Ovzon 3 is our very first own satellite, and we started that project back in 2019. Now is the time to launch the satellite, and it will be launched by the end of this year. So the planning, design, and sourcing, we are done with that. The detailed design is also finished. So right now we are manufacturing, testing, and are doing the verification of the satellite. So we are planning for the launch in the fourth quarter 2021, and the start of service date will follow roughly 4 to 6 months after launch. If you look at our activities during 2020, Magnus mentioned COVID-19. I think it's important just to notify that we have not experienced any significant negative impacts by COVID-19 when it comes to this project. So we follow more or less the plan. So next picture, please.
So we said we're going to talk about how we build the future, and this is really how we are building the future. We are have been recently expanded a number of customers, and it's important to understand that we have one very large customer. We have a number of smaller customers, and in the future, we still think we'll have a few very large customers on the government side, and then a lot of smaller customers on the commercial or smaller side. And we have started that journey to build a larger customer group. We have, to do that, we have expanded the number of sales partners from 1 to 10-fold in the last actually 18 months. We have expanded the number of employees, mostly on the commercial side actually, but also on the R&D side to build our future. And as mentioned, we have this agreement, very important agreement with Intelsat, where we've been able to expand our network so that we have now a global reach network. On the recruitment side, we have a new incoming CEO, Per Norén, that will start latest end of April. We have 3 more additions to the management team to strengthen that team. Tom Hopkins as the Chief Operating Officer, Dan Geiger as the Chief Commercial Officer, and Nils Norén as the CPDS, Chief Product Development and Supply Officer. And that is, of course, a big change, and a big, let's say, strengthening the management team is very important. And finally, we are on time for launching Ovzon 3 in this year, and fully move into our own service in 2022. Next picture, please. And if we look at the market we are addressing, the total satellite market is roughly $127 billion, and it's more or less stable. It's growing relatively slowly. Whereas the part that we are addressing, our addressable market, which is mobile satellite services and part of the fixed satellite services, is growing with a healthy 8% according to 2 consultants. And that is the market that we are addressing. Next, please. And if we look at this, where we are in regards to competition and with the structure we are building. So we have a purpose-built satellite that is coming on board very soon, online very soon. We have the smallest, the most mobile, and highest bandwidth terminals, the best in the business, frankly. We are leveraging a part of the band, part of the geostationary band, which is called KU, which is preferred by our customers. And we have 10 orbital positions, 10 parking spots in space that we can bring in use for future satellites to come. Next, please. So to summarize then, how we are taking care of exploring our vision. We have a technical solution that is ahead of competition. We have customers that are staying with us year by year and that are happy with our solutions. We have built and are continuing to build an organization, and we are investing for growth, and we are taking care of and developing our position as an innovator leader on the market. And with that, we move on to questions, please.
Thank you. For that presentation, both Magnus and Johan, I think that Johan showed a great picture where Ovzon is able to combine both high mobility and high bandwidth. And my question regarding that is, what's keeping competition out from that area? You showed a great chart over it. Is it the technological advantages, which is rather complex? Is it patents? What's it relating to?
So, I mean, our position is a result of both technical solutions, how we have designed our service, the use of our unique frequency band, the 30B band, and also how we have developed our terminals on ground. So it's a combination of all, I would say.
Okay.
So it's the energy in the satellite, it's the terminals, etc., etc.
And it's our support. It's our NOC as well, actually. Our network center.
Okay. I know that historically you've been able to deliver sales of around 200 million SEK per year, but in 2020 sales actually fell down. Could you give us some brief comments on what that related to?
Yeah, we had the short and quick and through answer to that is that we had a regional challenge. We had our largest customers were moving into an area where we couldn't support them, so we had a slightly smaller order for a period from that customer. That has now been corrected, and we look forward to getting back to the old turnover, or actually even higher.
Sounds like a bright future ahead of your scheduled satellite launch. Unfortunately, we're running a bit of a tight schedule, so I'll have to end this session right now. But I'd like to send you both a big thank you for attending today, and leave you to give any final remarks if you do have.
What do you have, Johan?
Thanks very much for listening, and thanks very much to ABG and Simon for hosting this.
Thank you.
Thank you.